Alright, the re-recording of the Pokemon Catch. So, practicing 3D scene planning. So, taking our pegs, and moving them instead of in just 2 dimensions, but moving them in 3 dimensions. So, having things having the effect of depth and scaling appropriately to their size based on their distance from the camera. All that kind of good stuff. So, what I've given you on Classroom, you have the file, the PokeCatch file. You got to download this whole thing. And then you will need to bring in a Pokemon back view of your choice. So if you're not a Pokemon person, here you go. Just use Venusaur. That will work. If you are a Pokemon person and you're so inclined to pick your own Pokemon, well, here's the sprite page. So go find the Pokemon you want and find the back view of... Oh. Yeah, wait. Huh. Interesting. Why don't they have the back? Why don't they have the back view available for that one? Whatever. You gotta find one with the back view, basically. Does Fiona have a back view? Yeah, Fiona has one. Okay, whatever. So I guess up to a certain generation, you should be fine. All right. So to do this, let's get into it. So you have in here, you have the background layer. You have Sonic, or Sanic. And then I've given you 2 empty pegs and an empty drawing layer inside of it for your Pokeball. So the first thing that you're going to do is bring in your Pokemon and animate your Pokemon coming on screen. So I'm going to go ahead and import from my desktop my Venusaur, create a layer, hit OK. Alright, so now I have this Venusaur image layer in here. This one, excuse me. And on that layer, all I'm going to do is add a peg. So now I have this Venusaur peg. And I already have it open up in my top right. But over here in the top right, if you click to the top, so in the top, you'll see this 3-dimensional view. This is where the camera is located. And then this is the field of view. So if I just briefly click on my Sanic and my background. Oops, I gotta zoom out. There we go. So Sanic is right here in my 3D scene planning view. And the background is just slightly behind Sanic, but still filling my field of view. So for our Venusaur, on frame 1 with the Venusaur, I'm going to switch to my translate tool. And on the peg on frame 1, I'm just going to move this off to the side of the camera and slightly behind the camera. And then, what did I do? I think 20 frames. I did 18 frames, I think, because that was 3/4 of a second. So then, at 18 frames, the timing doesn't really matter that much. I'm gonna just move Venusaur back forward in space and over and a little more over and then down a bit because my Pokemon should be sitting on the little bright area here. So the well-lit area is where the Pokemon should be standing. So now Venusaur goes from over my shoulder basically to blam. So and if we look at my peg out here, goes from out here into the field of view and then to its location. So that is the easy part. So now I have my Venusaur. Venusaur stays the whole 60 frames. Okay, cool. So on frame 1 of my Pokeball layer, I'm going to make a Pokeball. So for those of you that don't know how to make a Pokeball, it is not terribly difficult. I'm going to take a cylinder, and ellipse, and I'm going to go ahead and just draw a circle, and then I will take my, my screens are screwed up again. Let me take my line tool and just draw a quick line across my Pokeball, grab my paint bucket, red on top, white on the bottom. And then I'm going to take my brush with white, go to my tool properties, make it slightly bigger so that when I click in the center of my ball, oh, I want a larger white dot. There we go. Well, alright, cool. I'll take it. Okay, so now I got my Pokeball. I'm just going to simply extend the exposure of that for the whole 60 frames. And so on the translate peg for my Pokeball, so this is going to be set up similar to how we had the ball bounce done. So the majority of our keyframes, or in this case just the translate actually, is going to be done on one set of pegs, and then inside of that I'm going to have my rotate peg to actually spin the Pokeball. So on my translate peg, I'm just going to move this onto the center of the ball, go back to my top view here, and pull this straight back behind the camera and over to the side. Whoops. Alright, so that's where it's at frame 1. And also where it's going to be until frame... I guess we'll do frame 30. So, set another keyframe there. So my ball, for the first 30 frames, is doing nothing and is not moving. It is staying off the screen. So that is what my two first keyframes do. This establishes where it's at. This locks it not moving from that position until this point in time. So then, frame 60, I'm going to set another key pose by moving my Pokeball onto the screen and locating it to the right spot. So that's where I want my Pokeball to be at frame 60. So now my ball just lasers in and hits him there. So I'm going to go ahead and take this opportunity to turn on my control. So select the right peg, view, show, control. So you can see the path that my ball is taking from way over here into there. So about, let's see, is that about? Oh, this isn't even on frame 30. There we go. So let's say on frame 50, I'm going to make a bit of an arc in the top view. So I'm arcing it in the top view, both moving it diagonally from my path. And then also in this case, because I'd already started so high up, in fact, I might want to go back here. I don't know. Yeah, I won't actually be able to see the ball. Let me push this back so it's in front again. Maybe now I'll be able to see it. Okay. So I'm going to move my Pokeball down, actually, so that it's coming up and around. And so now I'll zoom back in. And now we'll see that my Pokeball arcs in. Throw a nice Ash Ketchum curveball, and then hits the dude in the chest. And to add a little extra, I'm going to use my ease and have it build up some speed. Okay, that's probably a little too much. So by using one of the upper ease types here, I'm making it so that it slowly builds up some speed. So it's like accelerating from the throw. So I'm going to use this one. And then now my Pokeball sails in and hits him. So if I press play, boom, boom. Okay, so one final thing. Just like on the ball bounce, I'm going to set a keyframe at frame 1, keyframe at frame 60, grab my rotate tool, get my rotation tool oriented on the center of this bad boy, and then spin it several times. And then now, if I zoom back out, in our full encounter, now we got this. Venusaur comes in, Pokeball spins and comes in. Is that the right direction for that spin? Would the ball be spinning that direction? Yes? Okay. Well, here, I'm just going to inverse this and we'll see how it looks. Alright, let's try this again. Boom. I think it's better. Yeah, I think negative was the right way. Okay. So I just spun it negative 2,000 degrees. Vaguely-ish. And then it looks like this. Boom. Ball comes from 3D. Over the shoulder. That's it.